From being an investment banker in the US on Wall Street to being a real estate developer right here in Ghana. He said, no, I'm not staying in the US. I'm coming back to develop my homeland. And it's so exciting to see diasporans who are moving back and doing amazing, extraordinary things. Heritage 100 is for the diaspora, and I'm going to be interviewing Neil Oku. So guys, if you're home in the diaspora, this is an opportunity for you to invest in real estate.
I struggle to really speak to people and say, hey, come back home. They need to experience how many foreign people are moving to Ghana and moving to Africa. If you look all around, there's so many different countries, I've met someone from Uzbekistan who lives in Ghana. Wow. Right? There's Syrian, there's so many people that find this place home and they're doing phenomenally well. So I think it'll get to a point where they realize all the great dreams, the American dream, the European exigence, it's a fallacy. I'm Neil Oku, ex-investment banker, repatriate back to Ghana. We've been here for about 5.5 years and we're known for our bespoke homes, and you may remember us from Foster Park, the first automated and smart homes in Ghana. We're now building Heritage 100, which is going to be a sight to be seen. It's the first fully irrigated, smart and fully developed community in West Africa. So please join us for the tour.
Hey Neil!
Denta!
What's up? You good?
It's been forever.
I know. This interview was meant to happen years ago, but we're here. For my viewers, I have known Neil for over 20 years, but I never knew that you would actually move back home because you were doing well in the US.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wall Street guy, finance guy, making your money, and you actually moved back home.
Absolutely, 5 years now.
5 years?
Yeah.
What made you decide to move back home?
I think it got to a point where I just felt like I needed to be in an ecosystem where I was absolutely accepted. On Wall Street, I was the youngest senior vice president in my whole division of about 8,000 people. And every time I walked into a room, it felt like I didn't belong. So at some point, I got promoted. And 3 months later, I said I was resigning.
Wow.
Came back to Ghana, very optimistic, live, bull-chested to come and take over the finance world.
Wow.
And I realized it's not as easy as one would make it out to be.
Okay.
But right then and there, I got a calling for real estate.
Really?
Yeah, I got tired of all the numbers on the computer screen, structuring deals, never really seeing the project.
Right.
I said, I've done it for hundreds of companies. Why can't I do it for myself?
Wow.
And that's what led me into
the real
construction and real estate. Yeah.
So were there anybody that kind of influenced you into it? Did you work on a project and you're like, I can do this. This is something that I can definitely do.
Yeah. When I was in the States, I was building my own house.
Okay.
And literally I'd be in my corner office. There was no WhatsApp then, there was no video calling, and I'd literally have them send me pictures and images, and I'd be able to measure with my eye, this is off, this is, you need to expand this.
Right.
And I really liked the process. Right. So I think that's really what drove me into the real estate.
Okay, and how do you see the real estate industry in Ghana?
Surprisingly very vibrant.
Okay.
Over the last, I'd say 10 years, there's been a boom or an influx in modern development, high rises, etc. But I see the industry really being led by foreign influences. A lot of people who have come in, they develop around the world and come and do things in Ghana.
Okay.
We do have some local vanguards that have been doing it for years, but we've decided to bring an innovation or a different view of real estate. Everything we do has a theme.
Because one of your real estate that I remember going into was the smart homes. What made you go into that as well?
Coming in, new guy on the block, great locations, but I really didn't see or get excited by what I was seeing on ground.
Right.
So I thought, what's the next bastion? What's the next opportunity? And I mean, smart, automated, fully sequenced homes. Everyone said it couldn't be done. They're like, oh, the internet is fuzzy in Africa. How are you going to make sure this is compatible?
Right.
But what we were doing in the US was finding plan A, plan B. We put in fail safes, and that project has been hugely successful.
Wow. And then also, you optimize space as well. That's what Absolutely. I found. But before, when our parents were building, you see that there's one building, there's so much space.
Right.
How are you utilizing space now?
An example, the first project, it was one house on a huge plot of land. We are able to optimize, reconfigure and design and put 8 houses there. And now, especially like the expat community, the high net worths who want to be in the city, they don't necessarily want to live in a sprawling house that they need to maintain.
Right.
So we built something very, very compact but efficient and also beautiful internally with spaces and finishes that really, call to the spirit. And that was our hallmark. We are really known for our finishing.
Definitely. So tell us about Heritage 100.
This is one of our scale models of phase 1.
Okay.
We have phase 2 now launched. It's completely different. It was a brainchild that took 3 to 4 years to even conceptualize. We won the best international high-rise development at the International Property Awards.
Amazing.
Just for sheer nature of we're doing sustainable.
Yeah.
So fully automated houses, similar to the concept that we've been driving, but we're solar energy for all of the communal areas. We're harvesting water, and we've got a team from Singapore that fully designed the building to be irrigated.
Wow.
So all these plants that you see are not flower pots. They're literal, living, irrigation, automatic, nobody's coming to water installations. And I think it's really going to be a sight to behold.
Wow. And then it's more targeted at the diaspora, right? Why did you decide to do that?
So I thought of it as we saw this large influx, thanks to you and a few others, year of return. So many people, hundreds of thousands of diasporans coming back home. They want to find a footing. They want to actually own a piece of Ghana. And I really saw a niche there. I thought it through and I said, we should put services where one would live. Where you come, you don't necessarily need to know someone. You don't necessarily need to be connected to feel at home.
Right.
And we built it into the development in the form of car service, having people who give you guided tours, setting up a bank account, registering for a driver's license, everything in-house done for you.
That's amazing. What are we looking at the moment?
Sure. So first phase, we went in 100 units, 4 penthouses. We've got a 9th floor rooftop area that basically overlooks the whole city. This is the tallest building within the general domain. So we've got views to the absolute epicenter of Accra. And then in terms of the overall finish of the building, you'll probably see reminiscent when we were, younger running around Accra. You'd see these old thatched houses and thatched buildings. We're bringing that in a large scale. We don't want to look like Miami. We don't want to be Santorini. We really want to call out what modern Africa should be or represent. And then that's the flavor we're bringing into the ecosystem.
That's amazing. So there's a park. So usually no one really thinks about having a little park for kids. So it's nice to see.
We definitely put in all the ingredients that a modern family, a modern African family, a modern diasporan family would love. We have a lovely central core where the land for the communal area and the pool alone is more than half an acre. And most developers don't go to those painstaking efforts. I mean, land is land, they build and sprawl. We have a spa, we have a hair salon, barber shop. We've got outdoor areas that have water fountains. We've got an art gallery where every single month we have a different representation. Surprisingly, what others don't really think about, we went underground for parking. So
parking is usually an issue.
Yes, absolutely.
So you did underground.
The whole entire stretch of the land. We didn't want to see cars all around.
Over the place.
We didn't want to, it's all underground, fully kitted out. We've got full service basement just to make sure electric charging stations to thinking of the future. All within the building and edifice.
So valet service.
Valet service, pick up, they drop off. Car service, pick you up at the airport, drop off. All of that fully inclusive.
That's amazing. So guys, we need to see the whole structure. So we're gonna have a little walk and go to where all of this is happening and look at phase 2 as well, which is an opportunity for you to buy. So Neil, tell us about the building, what's happening now. I can see people are working.
Yeah, so it's Saturday. Typically you'd come here even on a Sunday. I've got workforce doing different things. We're not doing typical construction. We've got a full evaluated schedule where it's actually put us about 4 months ahead in construction. And that's not typical. This is the phase 1. What you're seeing here is the level of groundwork that we're putting in place. We're actually expanding the road by about 6 feet, which most developers would never do. This is all an open promenade. There's going to be outdoor seating, cabanas. This is going to be a supermarket, grocery. We have a double floor restaurant that has one of the top brands coming in. I'll keep it a secret for now.
Okay.
We have our corporate offices along the back of the building.
Okay.
And then that's the lobby going into the actual building. Very huge, double volume, fully enclosed with wood.
It sounds amazing. Obviously, you can hear the noise because people are working. Do you have virtual offices in there? Because a lot of diasporans are working from home.
Absolutely. Right now, I think what we even developed is for the digital nomad.
Wow.
We've got double fiber. All of the telephony companies are coming in to plug and play.
Okay.
We don't have a situation where we've got internet down and downtimes.
That's good.
We've got hot suites in the building, about 8 of them, where you can actually reserve, book, work through the day. You want to have private meetings. Okay. We have 2 conference rooms fully set up. Okay. And booked for people. So this really gives you the opportunity to live, work, and play.
That's amazing. Yeah? So how many acres is this?
So that's really, I think, the cornerstone of what we've done. And we're probably the first to do it. We amalgamated 7 houses, 7 different owners, different families in order to take over the entire street. So we're not only building a building, we're building a community. We've got our own security set up on premises. Okay. We have lights that are actually illuminating the street graph and the building that make it look cool, somber, but also very high specs. It's going to be something really great. When you look at the height and the span of the building, we've built with more green than we actually took away. And that's not common.
Very not common. A lot of houses are not thinking about greens these days.
Right. What you're going to see along this whole entire street is a double palm alley. Okay. And we're bringing palm trees from Morocco and Brazil. And we've got the local seedlings already. They're about 6 feet high. By the time we're done with construction, we'll actually have a full installation of plant work throughout the whole street.
That's incredible. How is security like?
Ghana is already very safe, right? And this area specifically is one of the top, if not the top, for safety and security. We've got checkpoints all throughout and a lot of high profile people who live here. Okay. But now in our premises, we've developed a way where, because we have the street in itself, we have our own onboard security, night vision cameras, and also we put in laser grafting, which creates a perimeter around the project. You come and visit somebody, where AI is coming to the world, we're bringing it to Africa first. You've got AI technology that basically helps you key card in code and then actually directly speak to the resident, either through their phone or through the smart home automation that they have in the building. So we stepped it up.
We're on that level now, are we?
You better come now or never come at all.
Wow. So tell us about the types of rooms. So is it 1 bedroom? Is it 2?
Yeah.
What's the ratio?
We did something that's a little different in terms of we've got apartments that are hybrids. Okay. So where you have a 2-bedroom, there's an opportunity to convert into a 1-bed and a studio. Okay. And we've got studios and 1-beds as a typical structure as well. Okay. It's pretty interesting because when your family comes and you want to open up the unit and all be in one, that's fine as well. Okay. If you're an investor and you want to let out to different parties, it's a very great ROI. I mean, you can't do the numbers that are being done in Ghana, I think anywhere in the world. And here, once we're done with the main construction, we're going underground. We're excavating the full basement. All the vehicles for residents is fully underground. You don't see all of the clog up and the congestion, and it's really, really smooth in terms of transition.
So it'll be 100 car parks downstairs or a little bit more?
More than that, 145 actually. Okay. Far more than,
people are coming to visit.
Absolutely.
Where's the front of the building?
The front of the building is where we just walked off of.
Okay.
That's the lobby. This is all the frontage. Okay. Double height, almost about 7 meters high. And it's cool.
And with the penthouse, does the lift go straight to the penthouse?
Absolutely.
Okay. Does it stop anywhere?
And no, straight into the unit. And the views from there are like epic, incredible, dynamic. We've got 2 penthouses. They have their own private pools. They've got, I mean, we're bringing in finishing material, cast molded from Spain. We've got tiling coming from Italy. We went through painstaking efforts to really deliver a project that is not the same. And the interesting thing is the African elements that we're using, we've got local artisans working 2 years now to design some of our handcrafted items. The chairs for the lobby, they're being made in Ivory Coast. I mean, we really gone
And I think that's really important because sometimes we hear we're importing a lot of stuff, but what about using the artisans that are here to also create jobs? Right. And you're extending it to Africa as well, which is good, using Ivory Coast, using Ghana. I think this is an important element to factor in to give it that African feel that you spoke about.
Yeah, it's super important. It's unfortunate certain things we just don't have available. Yeah. And I believe it's coming.
Yeah.
But when you have the opportunity, my view is always locally sourced. And we've got some seriously talented people here.
Yeah.
The stuff I've seen in the artwork and the woodwork, the essence of what they're building and developing now, it's improved in lightfold. I'm really proud of the end result.
Is this all part of the underground?
This is all basement. Everything behind us is all going to be excavated. That's where the swimming pool, all of the outdoor gym, the children's playground. This land that's been given away for communal space is more than half an acre. And that is like a whole property. But we've decided it should really be lush. It should really be green.
Neil, is there any properties actually left? How many have you sold and what is left for my viewers to purchase?
In the span of about 6 months, we sold somewhere around 90 to 93% of our units. So we don't wait to sell to construct. That's why we've been able to move at the speed that we have. But when you come in and you see all the amenities we have, we did a general benchmark in West Africa of developments like this or this size. The closest to us had 12 amenities. We've got 21. So a lot to enjoy. You know, it really calls out the people and makes the living experience much more enjoyable. This is actually the lobby.
This is the lobby, okay.
As I mentioned, you'll enter through there, double height. We'll have wood cladding all through. Lovely motif. The designer has done a fantastic job here. Even the floor finishes are really going to be bespoke African.
And then over here?
Here, we've got a general conference area. Okay. So you'll have a room that if you want to have your meetings, you get visitors, you don't want them to go up to your unit, you can actually book and have your meeting. We've got very nice laid out furniture, and there'll be a connectivity to the phase 2, which will be a full span art gallery. So you're walking through, you see different artwork. Every month we change the artist, and I think it gives an opportunity to enjoy the African essence of the development.
What type of professions are you seeing that are coming through?
Very interesting mix. We've got a very large emblem of professionals.
Okay.
I'd say 85% of our buyers have been diaspora. We've got a big proportion out of the US, people out of Europe, and surprisingly, buyers in Australia and Asia.
What happened to the UK?
In the last couple of months, we've done a lot of sales in the UK.
Guys, don't let me down. I beg you.
Yes.
We need more UK people here, so we need to buy. So let's talk about the prices of the properties. A lot of people have been saying that Ghana properties are high.
Yeah.
That they're comparing it to the US and UK and they think that it's too much.
Sure.
What is the return on investment when you buy a property in Ghana?
Sure. So good question. You know, I'm a finance guy through and through, right? And for me, the property market here, though a little pricey, the ROI is probably 5 times better than what I've seen in Europe for sure, and even stronger than the US. Here we've got studios starting for as low as 85,000, all the way to 2 and 3 beds, 200, 300,000.
Okay.
But where you have the opportunity to rent, and you rent for 6 months to a year, that is an ROI of no less than 12 to 15%. Wow. You're not making that kind of return anywhere. And then also when here you hold the asset, it belongs to you.
Okay.
You're not sleeping one night and then you have some bank come and foreclose or come and take over in the structure. But what I'll say, we've done innovation. We're the first developer to offer developer-backed financing.
Okay. Wow.
So we're working with 2 banks. We're giving the option for our clients who pay up to 40% to spread the rest through sequence loans. And you can actually decide to even rent and use as a payback method as well. So it makes it a lot easier for our buyers.
So it's not necessarily a mortgage,
yes,
but it's just a payment plan.
That's correct.
Almost.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And
up
it's
to
actually,
how many years?
Up to 5 years.
5 years.
We're looking to even stretch it to 10.
Okay.
With that, we're bringing in banks to actually facilitate. But we wanted to open it up where people could come and afford. Especially given the diasporans the ability to literally come and own a piece of Ghana.
So if somebody buys a property and wants to rent it, is it something that you do?
Absolutely. What we're doing, we're bringing in cutting edge platforms that will actually not only manage the property, we're handling the full facility for the client as well. We built in a feature with Singaporean company where you can actually book, not direct from all the various websites, but actually see availability within the building and allocate the unit on behalf of the client, go for approval, and then pay any returns that the client makes here as well in the development. pretty interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, you got to make it easy, right?
Wow.
And that's the whole essence of, people make things so difficult when they think about, coming back to Africa and the creature comforts not being available.
Right.
We've had to think through it. I've experienced it myself, and that's why we're here.
So I bought the property. How many years do I get? What's the actual process?
You buy the property, we're giving you a leasehold of 50 years, which is renewable, right? So everybody will renew right around the 48th, 49th year, and you hold it perpetually. We provide you with a deed of assignment and handle all of the logistics around giving you your final title. Now, with that in Ghana, you can even, as part of the SPA, sign on and you directly own the unit. Foreigner or not, you're going to get the 50-year allocation.
Okay, that's important. So what's going to be happening here?
Yeah, so we've left. If you see, the rest of the building, the apartments are heavily completed. They're doing tiling and whatnot. We've left this open because we have our corporate offices, the facility managers, the lettings office, everything is going to be on site. So you're not waiting for somebody to come and service you. And then all along the frontage, we've got a wine shop here coming in the front. We've got a bakery that's actually going to be able to serve the community as well as the building. And then a 2-story restaurant, as I mentioned, with a top brand that's going to come and service. Yes.
You guys may not be able to feel. I don't know if you see my clothes blowing. It's breezing. And we're not even on the top floor.
This is the ground floor. The epicenter of it all is we're very close to the ocean. And the heights here is unheard of. It's about 4.5 meters. So I didn't scrimp on the space.
Hey, guys, you need to buy. So where is phase 2? Is it over there?
Phase 2 are those nice looking houses right down yonder.
Wow.
That are gonna actually be demolished in order to bring in the new idea that we had.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
All the nice houses.
Absolutely. And people don't understand it. They're like, how are you taking down perfectly good homes? But how do you develop? That's how Manhattan was built. That's how London came up. And we really need to get to that point here in Africa.
What do you think about the notion of people coming back home? A lot of people are saying there's nothing here, it's better out there. If you look at the amount of people that are applying for visas to leave this country, you will be shocked. There's thousands and thousands of people that have applied for US visa, Canada visa. A lot of them are actually taking our talent away. How does that make you feel, and what would you say to that?
Denta, a lot of people will give you lip service, right? You can't knock somebody's experience and why they want to leave. But what I can speak to is, at some point in their life, no matter where they go, they'll realize they have to come back. It's unfortunate, certain things are a little bit difficult when you're starting out or you're young, but when you're there, you don't own it. It doesn't belong to you. So for me, directionally, I had to come back. And in my own experience, it's been extremely beneficial. I'm happier now than I would have ever been, staying overseas.
So let's talk about this long stretch of Heritage 100, phase 1 and phase 2. It goes all the way into this part. So you're gonna be knocking down this building and that building as well.
Yeah, we're kings of knockdown. But I think you have to do that in order to really revolutionize and build, right? All these cities around the world, in the 1900s, they were very, very flat, very centric buildings, and they became skyscrapers. I believe we need to develop neighborhoods, and that's what we're doing here.
So the area that we are there hospitals around? Are there schools around? What is around the area?
Yeah, so this is Laboni cantonments. Literally, we're in the center of the most prime areas. We've got all the major embassies here, and we've got hospitals and the best schools within the domain. What I really like about the area is it's one of the only places that you can literally just walk around and do everything you need to do. The supermarkets, great restaurants, all the banks. So it gives me that New York vibe, that London-esque. It's very, very serene. That's what I like about it.
What do you say to people in the diaspora who are not convinced, really, that to come back home and do anything back home?
Yeah, so Denta, interesting question. For me, I struggle to really speak to people and say, hey, come back home. Just from the sheer perspective of it has to be something that internally clicks for you to make such a decision. It's a very big deal. But one of the things that I think would really be telling is they need to experience how many foreign people are moving to Ghana and moving to Africa. If you look all around, there's so many different countries, I've met someone from Uzbekistan who lives in Ghana. Right? There's Syrian, there's so many people that find this place home and they're doing phenomenally well. So I think it'll get to a point where they realize all the great dreams, the American dream, European exigence, it's a fallacy to me.
Right.
It's not, the West isn't doing what it used to do, right? And when you get here and you're actually starting something, you struggle for a bit and you land, I think it's the best feeling ever because it belongs to you.
Yeah.
Most of everything I've done so far, people don't believe, they believe it's a white person. People don't develop at this scale, a black African doing the level of project we do here. And it's a telling story.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because there is a lot of people that are coming and seeing opportunities.
Sure.
And it's, for me, it's just sad by the fact that our own people are not seeing that. But for those who are like, okay, I'm not going to move back, but I want to invest and I want to invest in what you're doing. Is that an opportunity that they can do?
Real estate from a direct investor perspective is a great return. You own it, you're getting your returns in. If you have even a short let and you're renting 10 nights a month, it could cover your rent times 2 in London, which is extremely expensive.
Yeah.
But then if we develop projects, we're setting up, I'm doing a bunch of things. We've hopped into agriculture as well.
Okay.
Anyone who has interest there, they want to really build out a pipeline, we're more than open to, bring in diasporas. I just want to get people back. The same way I came, nobody had to tell me, but I've experienced it. There's no need to be the only one holding the information.
There's a facade, right? People come, they party, maybe December is lit, and then that finishes, your money's done, the money that you came with. And you're just like, no, I can't live here.
Yeah.
There is a party scene, but there's also the real Ghana, right? And how were you able to transition yourself?
So it also took a while. We also hit the wall, the Sikana shit syndrome.
Yes.
But you just need to really get to the mind state that you want to see what's going on in the daytime. You want to see all the vertical opportunities. It's everywhere. Every problem is an opportunity to create a huge investment.
Yeah.
And on that basis, I think when you set yourself up, you draw out a business plan or you lay it out and you come up with a few people who are like-minded, I think you can really, really do a lot here. There's things that people haven't even touched. It's untapped. That's ready for somebody like us. People living abroad, we've got a certain, discipline just from, having to walk through the snow that will give us a bit of an edge to move through and do things here. And really they accept it. That's what I like about Ghana.
And there's been a few people that have moved and are like, no, I tried to set up a business. My staff were bad. I got stolen from. My family said they were building it for me. Just bad. And so they have moved back. What would you say to that? And how was your experience setting up a business, having employees, controlling that environment? In the UK, everything is like this, especially in the US. I've been working with the US people right now, and I know that they don't even sleep. Like, they're just on it. They want to get things done. Do you see that culture here? And how were you able to kind of surpass that?
The US is 400 years old. The Great Britain, let's call it that, is centuries old.
Right.
I don't want to give excuses for some of the dilemmas and difficulties because I've faced them myself.
Right.
We've all tried to do things here when I was living abroad, buy land, tried to do various investments with friends and family that got very, very tense. And if you let that set you back, you're never really going to be able to achieve much. I always liken it to that picture. I don't know if you've seen when a guy is like digging, and he's almost at the diamond and then he turns back around. That's really what happens when you give up on the opportunity. Because truly in the next 3 to 5 years, you're not going to be able to step in and just do stuff because there's so much development happening here. Every year, even for me locally, it's different. And there's so many new players, there's so many big opportunities coming that I'd say if you don't even go cold turkey and move, just try something. When it comes to property, maybe the uncle cousin building thing is not the best arrangement. Come and buy from a reputable developer such as ourselves. And then I take it to don't give up on your dream. If you really want to own something, it's not there. The development is here.
Sometimes it's hard as well when we've got a UK accent and we've got a US accent. People tend to also rip us off. How have you been able to overcome that?
Yeah, so I've got multiple accents, right? No, but in all seriousness, it comes by virtue of the arena. You look like you're not from, or you haven't been around, or you're not as clued in. And that requires you as an individual also to know where you're at. They say when in Rome, do as the Romans do, right? It comes with time. It took me years. I thought I came prepared. I had everything I needed and whatnot. And even that, I was flailing around for a couple of years before I found my footing. But once you find your footing, it's for you. you have a very long runway to do stuff here. People don't even catch on until you're gone.
Right.
So I would do this over and over again, 10 times over. And I'm
Okay.
not looking back.
Okay. Have you seen a lot of your friends move back?
I've seen a lot of my friends move back
Okay.
and do extremely well. I've seen a lot of people move back for the wrong reasons. They gave up really, really easy. So I think those are the multiple dynamics. When you come prepared, or as best as possible, I think the system will accept you.
When you come prepared, the system will accept you. And I'm saying to you, this is the time and opportunity for you to invest in Heritage 100. The details are below. Come and see the building, come and meet Neil, have a conversation and see whether this building is right for you. See you later.